The neutral mind. 3 Zen practices to remain calm when everything goes wrong. Mastering inner balance. Stop the emotional roller coaster. You are giving away your power every time you overreact. Learn the 3 Zen practices of equanimity to achieve the neutral mind. Watch now. Part 1: The Emotional Roller Coaster, the Hook and the Problem. Welcome to Echoes of Life. Let's talk about the silent, energy-draining force that dominates your mental landscape, the emotional roller coaster. Every day, you are bombarded by triggers: an unexpected email, a dismissive comment from a colleague, traffic gridlock, or a sudden, unwanted change in your personal life. When these triggers arrive, the human instinct is to immediately react, launching you into a spiral of frustration, defense, or anxiety. We spend our lives perpetually oscillating between the high of temporary pleasure and the low of sudden pain, exhausting our spiritual and physical resources. This constant emotional oscillation is the definition of inner chaos. It robs you of your clarity, compromises your decision-making, and creates unnecessary drama, the internal turmoil we generate by resisting what is. We mistake this volatility for passion, but it is merely the instability of an untrained mind, giving away its power to external events. Your peace is held hostage by the whims of the world. The Buddhist tradition offers a radical and beautiful solution: Upekkhā, or equanimity, bin than. Upekkhā is the ultimate state of the neutral mind, a mind so stable, so balanced, that it is unaffected by the turbulent winds of gain or loss, praise or blame. It is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of response. It is the ability to stand still at the center of the storm and maintain your inner equilibrium. Today, we offer the blueprint for this mastery. We will give you 3 powerful Zen practices to neutralize emotional triggers, separate yourself from overwhelming feelings, and maintain an unshakable calm, even when everything seems to go wrong. The path to emotional sovereignty begins with your commitment to non-reaction. Part 2: Upekkhā, the lie of the happy medium. To embrace Upekkhā, we must first clarify what it is not. Equanimity is often wrongly confused with apathy, the lifeless absence of feeling or care. This is a profound error. The neutral mind is not numb. It is supremely aware and supremely stable. It is not the inability to feel, it is the refusal to be consumed by feeling. The Buddhist texts describe life as being constantly affected by the 8 worldly winds, 8 dhammas, gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, fame and disgrace. The untrained mind chases the highs, praise, gain, and violently resists the lows, blame, loss, guaranteeing a lifetime of suffering and instability. The mind wants a happy medium, a fixed state where only good things happen. This is the ego's lie. The truth of Upekkhā, equanimity, is the radical acceptance that these 8 winds are inevitable and impersonal. They are temporary conditions of existence, not conclusions about your personal worth. The neutral mind stands at the center of these winds, feeling them all equally, but refusing to let them dictate its inner direction. When you practice Upekkhā, you are committing to non-attachment, to either the positive or the negative outcome. You view every experience, whether a sudden promotion or a devastating loss, as merely temporary data passing through the system. By acknowledging that all experiences are fleeting, anicca, and that your core self is unconditioned, anatta, you cease to grant the external world the power to throw you off balance. This commitment to inner stability is the ultimate strength. Part 3: Practice 1: The 3-second pause and labeling. The first Zen practice for achieving the neutral mind is designed to dismantle the sheer speed of the emotional reaction. An uncontrolled reaction occurs in an instant. The gap between trigger and response is zero. Your goal is to insert consciousness into that critical gap. The 3-second pause technique. When a powerful emotion, anger, defensiveness, jealousy is triggered, your mind is instantly hijacked. You must immediately apply the 3-second pause, a technique perfected in our samadhi practice. 1. Stop. Physically halt your body and your breath for a single second. 2. Anchor. Take one full, deep breath, using the physical sensation of the air to pull your mind out of the future, past narrative and into the present body. 3. Label. Immediately couple the pause with the Zen labeling technique. Say to yourself, this is anger rising. This is defensiveness speaking. This practice is the fundamental separation protocol. By labeling the emotion, you cease to be the emotion, I am angry, and become the observer of the emotion, I observe anger rising. You create a crucial psychological distance. You recognize that the feeling is a powerful wave, but you, the observer, are the unmoving shore. The power of the 3-second pause is that it stops the automaticity of the reaction. It prevents the unconscious momentum of the past from dictating your present action. By giving yourself 3 full seconds of conscious awareness, you reclaim the power of choice. You choose stillness over chaos, and consciousness over autopilot. Part 4 Practice 2. The two-zone reality, the circle of control. The primary source of anxiety and emotional instability is the futile attempt to control the uncontrollable. We become emotionally volatile because we invest massive amounts of energy, our expectations, our hopes, our anger, into things that lie completely outside our sphere of influence. This is the definition of psychological friction. Zen Practice 2 is the two-zone reality check, the disciplined act of separating your world into 2 distinct spheres, mirroring the wisdom of Stoicism and Upekkhā. 1. Zone 1. The circle of control, internal. This zone contains only things that are completely within your power, your intention, your effort, your reaction, your thoughts, and your words. This is the only place where your energy is guaranteed to yield a return. 2. Zone 2. The circle of concern, external. This zone contains everything else: the stock market, the weather, the election results, the decisions of your boss, the mood of your partner, and the outcome of your actions. The two-zone check protocol. When anxiety or anger strikes, pause and ask, is the source of this feeling in Zone 1 or Zone 2? If the answer is Zone 2 inches, e.g., my coworker is late, traffic is bad, the client rejected my idea, you must immediately and consciously withdraw your emotional investment. This is not passive resignation, it is a radical reallocation of resources. You conserve the precious energy you were wasting on futile resistance, anger, worry, and redirect it wholly back into Zone 1 inch, your response. By accepting the boundary between the two zones, you cease to be a victim of external circumstances and become the sovereign master of your internal state. You build an emotional fortress that is immune to the chaos of Zone 2. Part 5 Practice 3. The wide-angle lens. We have secured our internal state by controlling our response and defining our zone of influence. Now, we must attack the psychological phenomenon that makes small problems feel catastrophic: the ego's close-up lens. When we are triggered, our ego zooms in relentlessly, making a minor inconvenience, a rude email, a spilled cup of coffee, a delayed flight, feel like a full-blown life crisis. This distorted perspective fuels emotional overreaction and drama. Zen Practice 3 is the wide-angle lens, the conscious act of pulling back your perspective to place the immediate trigger into the vast, indifferent context of your entire life. This technique is rooted in the acceptance of impermanence, anicca, and the vastness of the universe. The wide-angle perspective protocol. 1. The context check. The moment you feel the intense surge of reaction, pause and ask two clarifying questions. Will this event matter in 1 year? Will it even matter in 1 month? For most small triggers, the answer is a resounding no. By forcing this temporal scaling, you prevent the ego from assigning the permanence and weight of a decade to a moment that will be forgotten by tomorrow. 2. The scale check. Imagine your current emotional state, the intense anger or fear, compared to the scale of your life, your overall health, your core relationships, your fundamental survival. The reaction often outweighs the reality by a factor of 10. This realization immediately reduces the problem's urgency. 3. The acceptance of proportionality. The neutral mind understands that a minor inconvenience deserves a minor response. A massive crisis deserves a thoughtful, measured response. By applying the wide-angle lens, you refuse to grant a small trigger the power to ignite a full-scale emotional conflagration. This practice is the ultimate antidote to drama. Drama is born when we treat minor events as major crises. The wide-angle lens restores proportionality, allowing you to treat a spilled cup of coffee as just that, a spilled cup of coffee, and reserve your full emotional capacity for the few events in life that truly warrant it. Part 6. The emotional blackmail. Reclaiming your power. When you engage in emotional overreaction, you are unknowingly participating in emotional blackmail. This is the subtle, profound surrender of your internal sovereignty. When you allow a difficult person, a rude comment, or a bureaucratic setback to dictate your mood, your focus, or your subsequent actions, you are essentially handing over your emotional power to an external source. You become a puppet, with the strings of your inner peace being pulled by the world outside. The power of the neutral mind is that it refuses to surrender this sovereignty. When you practice Upekkhā, you refuse to be baited. You recognize that the external force, the critic, the aggressive driver, the unfair boss, wants your reaction. Your reaction validates their power and fuels their negative cycle. The non-reaction challenge. 1. Spot the hook. When a challenging interaction occurs, immediately identify the hook, the specific word, tone, or situation designed to draw you out of your center. 2. The silence of power. Instead of launching a defense or a counterattack, practice non-reaction. Remain silent. Look at the aggressor with a calm, neutral gaze, or simply take the 3-second pause and say nothing. The refusal to engage in the emotional tug-of-war preserves your energy. 3. The transfer of control. By remaining silent, you force the other person to absorb their own negative energy. You deny them the emotional fuel they sought. You keep your focus wholly on zone 1 inch, your response, while they are left struggling in zone 2 inches, their own chaos. The greatest victory in life is not winning an argument, it is choosing not to participate in the battle at all. By consistently refusing to react, you reclaim your emotional power from the external world. You teach your nervous system that your internal stability is non-negotiable and cannot be purchased or stolen by anyone else's drama. Part 7. The stillness beneath the waves. When the neutral mind becomes your default setting, you access the state of the stillness beneath the waves. Imagine the ocean during a severe storm. The surface is violent, waves crash, foam flies, and the sound is deafening. But miles below the surface, the water is utterly still, dark, and peaceful. This is the psychological reality of equanimity. You are not striving for a life without storms. That is impossible. You are striving to become the depth of the ocean, where the external chaos of the surface, the 8 worldly winds, cannot reach your core stability. The benefits of the stillness beneath the waves. 1. Wise decision making. When your mind is quiet, your decisions are rooted in clarity, not panic, fear, or anger. You act from an objective assessment of the data, not from the reactive surge of emotion. This makes you profoundly effective and reliable in crisis. 2. Clear communication. Your communication becomes precise and powerful. Since you are not defending your ego, you speak truthfully and directly, without the distortion of emotional baggage. This builds trust and resolves conflict efficiently. 3. Default peace. Equanimity transitions from being a difficult practice to being your default state. You no longer have to work hard to be calm, you have to work hard to be upset. Because your internal system is wired for balance. The stillness beneath the waves is your truest source of strength. It is the realization that your identity is not tied to the fleeting surface events. You are the vast, unconditioned awareness that holds the storm, observes the waves, and remains fundamentally unshaken. This is the mastery of the inner world, the ultimate peace that no external event can take away. Part 8 Final Echoes. Your next trigger, conclusion and CTA. We have journeyed through the radical simplicity of emotional equanimity. You now understand that the neutral mind is not an accident, it is a consciously built fortress of stability, achieved by mastering your response. You possess the 3 Zen practices to reclaim your internal power. 1. The 3-second pause and labeling. Inserting consciousness to stop the automatic reaction. 2. The 2-zone reality check. Reallocating your energy from the uncontrollable, zone 2, to the controllable, zone 1. 3. The wide-angle lens. Restoring proportionality and refusing to treat small problems as life crises. Remember this profound truth. The greatest power you possess is the power not to react. Your energy is finite. Choose wisely where you invest it. Embrace this final challenge today. Identify your most common, small emotional trigger, perhaps traffic, a slow loading screen, or a repeated critique. The very next time this trigger occurs, do not try to eliminate the anger. Simply apply, practice 1. The 3-second pause before you speak or act. In that pause, you will find your sovereignty. Thank you for continuing your journey with Echoes of Life. If the promise of mastering your emotions and finding unshakable inner balance resonated with your spirit, subscribe to our channel and join our community dedicated to applying ancient Zen and Buddhist wisdom to master chaos and achieve the neutral mind in the modern world. Like this video to help the algorithm share this essential secret for ending emotional drama with others caught in the endless cycle of overreaction. And finally, share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that they hold the key to their own peace. Until our next lesson on mastering your inner world, may your spirit be still and your actions be measured.